information you get if you don't apply any of the information. Like the stuff that we do, the stuff that we learn, it's amazing. But believe it or not, that stuff is just the tip of the iceberg. Yeah. I went to the movies yesterday with my daughter, and we went to go see Moana. And I don't want to spoil the movie for you, but let's just say pulling stuff up is hard. Yeah. When you see the tip of the iceberg and you think that you're going to pull that iceberg up, and you start pulling, and you realize that this iceberg is actually pretty big. Yeah, you see a carrot sticking out the ground, and you go to pull the carrot, and then you realize, like, oh, this is a whole carrot farm. Like when we see something, we think it's so small, so insignificant, until we realize that when we're in the middle and the crux of something, just how much it is. And so watch this, guys, because what I've come to learn is, and this is a law. Write this down for me. It's called the law of pain. Yep. The law of pain. The law. Yep, the law of pain. Yep, I'm in the chat with you guys. Let me write it down too. The law of pain. Yep, the law of pain. And this is a simple law, but this law simply says, regardless of who you are, regardless of where you come from, we all will experience some sort of pain in this thing we call life. Yeah, so how I want to start this, what I want you guys to do, because I know some of us, we got a good life and stuff happened so long ago, but what I want you to do is I want you to think about one of your most painful experiences. Yeah, I don't know if it was when you was a teenager, when you was a young adult, when you was a first-time parent. I don't know what it was for you, but I want you to think about it. Because what happens is sometimes we force stuff into our brains and we force ourselves to forget about those things. And because we can't grow from them, guess what? Yep. And so today I want you to bring it to the forefront of your mind, because remember, this is going to be uncomfortable. It's going to make you feel uneasy. But guess what? When we feel uncomfortable, guess what happens in the uncomfort zone? Growth. Remember, growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. So if you feel uncomfortable, embrace it. That's a good thing. That means that change is about to happen. That means that growth is about to happen. And so I don't know when you experienced your tragedy. I don't know when you had that bad experience. I know I lost my scholarship, and I thought that was my rock bottom until my wife watched them put me in the back of a police car. Yeah, that was a horrible experience. Watch it. She's sitting there, she's crying, I'm crying, sitting in jail, contemplating suicide. I'm talking to my mom and my dad through a glass. That was a horrible experience, but I remember those things. I forced myself to not forget. Yeah, losing my brother, getting that call at 4 in the morning, headed to work, and it's like, yo, everybody check in. We ain't heard from your brother. 2 or 3 hours go by, nobody hears from him, and we gotta go on Market Street. I remember these things. How my wife pregnant, we go get the ultrasound, and they say the baby don't got no heartbeat. Well, I know we go through stuff, but what happens is when we go through stuff, we have a propensity to forget what we go through. And yep, so today what I want us to do is I want us to remember. I want to force the memory into your head. Yeah, because we're about to get to the other side of this. Remember, when you're uncomfortable, guess what happens? It's like a rubber band, and the rubber band, it just keeps pulling you back, and the uncomfortableness just keeps pulling you back. And when it's time, when you learn what you need to learn, when you extract the information that you need to extract, you let that rubber band go, and exponential growth says you shoot way past where you was about to head. Yep, so watch this, guys. Watch this, because this is what I've learned. This is the mindset I want to craft. I know sometimes some of us think the bad experiences we go through is just for us. Right, but watch this. These are the 3 things that I learned about bad experience, about mindsets of bad experiences. Number one, everyone has them. Yeah, I know. Bro, I promise you, when I lost my scholarship, I thought I was the only person in the world that lost a scholarship. There's a whole community of people that lost their scholarship. Some went back to school, some didn't, but everybody, there's a bunch of people. I said, oh, okay. I went to jail and I was like, man, my inmate number was like 980-980-452, something like that. And I said to myself, man, if I'm 980, I looked at somebody else's band, their band started with a 0. They said, yeah, the first time I came to jail was back in the 80s. I said, 9,000 people. I'm sorry, 900,000 people. And that was just in the county. When I went upstate, the number got bigger. I said, oh, a bunch of people have gone to jail. Yeah, I quickly learned the stuff that you go through. I know you think is unique to you. Believe it or not, somebody else has gone through that experience. Yeah, the second thing I learned to help shape my mentality towards bad experiences. Believe it or not, guys, nobody likes them. Yeah, I'll say it again. Nobody wants to experience these bad things. Losing a brother, prison, losing a scholarship, losing a kid. Nobody wants to experience those things. Nobody likes experiencing bad things. Some people handle it better, but nobody likes experiencing bad things. And just to prove it to you, if you do actually like, if you're on this call and you like going through bad stuff, rough times, experiencing bad things, just throw your hand up in the chat so somebody else can see you. But I'm pretty sure nobody likes going through bad stuff. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, but then the third thing. The third thing, and maybe the most important thing, and this is where the transformation is going to start taking place. One of the things that I learned is few people make bad experiences into positive ones. Yep. There's few people in the world that can take a bad experience or a bad thing they went through and turn it into something positive. Yeah, so what I want to do is I want to show you guys what I've come to learn. But what I've learned is our brains are like a computer. So we have storage units in our brains. So when we pull memories and we pull different pictures and we pull different thoughts, what happens is we're pulling them from different files in our brain. Sometimes we remember stuff and they get stored properly. Sometimes we conflate a memory and it's like we're actually remembering something else mixed with this memory, but our brains are like a computer. So when it comes to the law of pain, what actually happens is we actually have pain files. Yep. Yeah, and I want to share a few of my pain files with you guys, just so they can trigger the thought, because I want you guys again to be cognizant of the pain that you've been through. Because after we see our pain files, what we then are going to be able to do is turn our pain into gain. Yep, that's the point we're trying to get to. We're trying to turn our pain into gain, but we're not going to be able to turn it into gain if we don't become vulnerable. If we still try to hide the pain. I know it hurt. I know it sucks. I don't even want you to have to drop it in the chat. You survived it. You've been through it. Acknowledge it so we can get the gain from it. Yep, just right now, just mentally, just acknowledge it. Yep, that happened when I was 18. Guess what? I'm still here. Yeah, when I was 30, he tricked me then and he got me pregnant. But guess what? I'm still here. Yep. Just because I went through it, it didn't kill me, and I'm better for it. Yep, the pain files. The pain files. So one of my pain files, one of my first pain files, I should say, is the pain of inexperience. Yep, I expected instant success early in my career. Everything I touch, it works out, it turns to gold. Not realizing that experience is a valuable teacher. Yep, not realizing that the more I experience, the more I'll be able to grow. Yep, the pain of incompetence. I did a lot of counseling early when I very first started this thing, like 4, 5, 6 years ago, and I promise you I was terrible. But what it forced me to do is reevaluate my gift. It forced me to dive deeper, learn more, be able to connect and communicate better. And guess what? Yep, I'm better for it. The pain of disappointment. I told you guys, my wife and I, we was expecting a child. And I learned very quickly. Faith isn't faith until it's tested. So when the devil snuck in and he stole our child, our faith never wavered, and God restored and refilled everything that the devil took, and we were blessed with a son. But that does not mean that we didn't experience the pain of disappointment. Yet the pain of conflict. Yeah, one time, I won't lie to you guys, a while ago, me and my wife, we were looking for a different church home. We were looking for a different community. We were talking about moving and stuff. And I said, you know what, let's just handle it. Yet the pain of change. Yeah, I know this is called Change You, and everybody just loves change. No, we don't. Our bodies are wired to keep us safe, are wired for what we know. The pain of change, the pain of hard decisions, the pain of bad health. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, but back in July, the only difference between me and some people is some people talk about it. I'm going to take action. Back in July, when everybody was telling me, man, you're getting big, man, you're getting big. I said, oh, this stops now. Every day in July, I ran 2 miles a day and started working out twice a week. No, twice a day, I'm sorry. And the other day at Christmas, Thanksgiving, they said, man, you've been working out. I said, I'll take that over. My butt is big. 220. But the pain, like these different pains that we go through, these different stuff that we go through, the pain of not being number one, the pain of losing a relationship, the pain of a financial loss. Like, I've gone through all these different things. And what I do is I sit down and I write to myself about these different pains and about these different experiences. Because what I've learned, guys, is everything that we go through is a teaching moment. Yep, go ahead and write that. Yeah, now it's time to transition from the pain that we go through to the gain. Yeah, and how can you take the stuff that you go through and turn it into a gain? You have to keep a proper perspective. Yep, and the perspective is every single thing that I go through, whether good or bad, is a teaching moment. Yet there's something in here for me to learn from. There's something in here that is going to teach me, that is going to help me in my future if I keep the right perspective. Does that mean it's going to be easy? No. Does that mean it won't be painful? No. But my perspective says this is a teaching moment. And here goes something I had to learn along the way, guys. Sometimes in life, some of us will go through some stuff that is so hard. While you're going through it, that's not even the time to learn from it. Yeah, sometimes when you're going through stuff, your only job is just survive it. And once you survive it, yep, like some of us right now, once you survive it, then you look back at that situation, you figure out what exactly went wrong, what exactly happened to benefit you, you extract the lesson from it, and now guess what you can get? You have the blessing from it. Yeah, but some of us be trying to figure stuff out in the middle of the storm. In the middle of the storm is not time to figure out the best plan of action. In the middle of the storm, take cover and don't let the storm kill you. And when the storm passes, guess what we can do? And so if you want to take your pain, the pain that we've been through, all of us have been through different levels and different amounts of pain. If you want to take your pain and turn it into gain, just do me a favor and just type, I do. Yep, I do. Like somebody that's saying they're ready to get married. I do. I've been through some pain. TP, I told you half my story. If I would have told you my whole story, yeah, I probably shouldn't even be here. I've been through some stuff. Yeah, I should have been here. I shouldn't have been here back in the 80s, back in the 90s. Yeah, I know everybody forgot, but God didn't. I didn't. Yeah, in the early 2000s, I was wilding out. I know. I've been through so much pain. And here you are trying to keep all the pain inside of you and trying to survive on your own. Yep, so if you're ready to turn your pain into gain, let me jump in this chat. Let me see who's saying I do. Yep, I do. I love it. Here we go. Yep, so if we're going to turn our pain into gain, this is what we do. This is how we do it. We develop a positive life stance. Yep, a positive life stance. Number one, a positive life stance. You have a positive life stance. Does that mean life will always be good? No. But our stance when we look at life will always remain positive. What does that mean? We just look at life for what it is. Life is good and life is bad. Some of the good I can't control, some of the bad I can't control. That's life. Yep, some of the good and some of the bad will find me. Yeah, I'm trying to give you guys tangible ways of how you can change your mindset to a positive mindset, how you can keep a positive mindset. Some of us believe that when bad things happen to us, we're cursed. Only good stuff's supposed to happen to us. That's not life. You have good and bad stuff will happen to us. If I have a positive life stance, the good and bad will become better. Okay, somebody just needs to say that to themselves. If I have a positive life stance, the good and the bad will become better. If I have a negative life stance, the good and the bad will become worse. Yeah, so therefore today I choose what? I choose a positive life stance. Yep, I choose a positive life stance. To a large degree in life, guys, you get what you expect. Yep, the second one, I want you to embrace your creativity. Yeah, I want you to embrace your creativity. Yeah, one of the gifts that I have is when stuff happens, there's a saying you turn poop into sugar. The poop got a different word for it, but you basically take a bunch of nothing and turn it into something. Yeah, you take a bunch of nothing and you turn it into something. Embrace your creativity. Just because it didn't go how you thought it was going to go, it's a chance for you to pick it up, freestyle it, audible it, add your little twisted flavor to it, and make it yours. Yep, embrace your creativity. Yep, and this one is usually hard for people. But again, perspective. The third thing, embrace the value of bad experiences. Yep, I know. Some people talk about their first job and how they hate their first job. And I'm like, well, what did it teach you? It taught me I don't want to work third shift. I said, guess what? That's a great experience. Yeah, I'll never forget the first job I had, working third shift, and I was like, oh, I don't like this. Then I got another job at a factory, and I was like, they can't keep being these factories. It got to be me. Everything that we go through is a learning experience, good or bad. When you embrace the bad experiences and you learn from them, guess what happens? Yep, number four. I only got two more, guys. Number 4, make good changes after bad experiences. Yeah, somebody's gonna act like they didn't hear that. And I know why. Because we have a bad experience, we do something dumb, we make a bad choice, and instead of learning from it and making the change, we just rather act like it didn't happen. we just rather act like we didn't do that. Yeah, no. Make good changes after bad experiences. If you go through something bad, if you go through something rough, that does not give you permission to continue to just go through that bad and rough thing. That's just bad and poor decision making. If you go through something and you have a bad experience from it, I need you to do me a favor, make a good change. Yeah. I'll never forget when I was in jail and I was talking to some of the people that was in jail for the use of drugs. And guys, I can't lie to you guys. I was exposed when I was in jail because some of the drugs that they was talking about, I never heard of. To be honest with you guys, I don't even think I wanted to hear of some of these drugs. Some of these drugs were scary. And one of the guys, we grew to be friends. He was telling me how he did these one drugs one time, and he was telling me about this trip he took, and he was so vividly explaining the trip. And I'm like, so where did you actually go? And he's like, well, I didn't go anywhere, but the drugs had him like hallucinating, and he thought he was on a trip. And he said that his one friend did the same drugs, and his one friend died from the drugs, overdose. And the thing that blew my mind is the good decision. That's a bad experience, if you ask me. The good change would be to stop doing drugs. Instead, my friend said all him and his friends went and called that guy and said, hey, we want that. And I said, wait. They said, yeah, because it might not kill us, but that was a great high. That was a great experience. And I'm like, man, how many of us do the same thing in our lives? We go through something, we put this little funky twist on it so we can make it seem like it's all right, but sprinkle Jesus dust on it so we can make it seem like it's good. And guess what? We know in our souls, in our hearts of hearts, and this was a bad choice. And because we didn't change and make the good decision from this bad choice, we're going to repeat it. Yeah, but then the last thing, guys, I need you to take responsibility for your life. Yeah, I made a video the other day and I told people stuff doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. Yeah, I'm a firm believer that everything is working together for the good of myself, my life. That's what God told me. He said all things are working together for the good. And so if all things are working together, that doesn't mean everything will always be great, everything will always be perfect. But what it does mean is when I go through bad stuff, that this is making me a better person. This is making me stronger. What it does mean is when your kid has to take a bullet and they survive, God is making your faith stronger. That when a loved one is in jail or has to go to court soon, God is actually making you stronger because you're becoming a pillar in your family. That when your fitness journey isn't producing the results, but you continue to go, that what's actually happening is because of this bad experience, your consistency has increased. See, I know it's so hard that when we're in the middle of stuff, it's hard to take ourselves out of situations and view things for what they are. But today, what I want us to learn is in order for us to gain from the pain that we go through, we have to keep a proper perspective. That we have to know that the pain isn't the end all be all, that the pain is actually molding and shaping us. Let the pain push you. Because this is what I want to leave you guys with. If you go through pain and you quit the second you feel pain, guess what? You'll stay in that pain forever. Yep, it says, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. What if whoever was walking through that valley just stopped in that valley? Yeah, I'm talking about you. I ain't talking about the Bible. What if the valley that you was in, the pain and the trials that you were facing, the tragedies and the opposition that you were up against, what if as soon as you ran up against them, you quit and you never got to experience what the other side looks like? See, the thing that I always tell people is if you're in pain, I know some of us are, I know some of the stuff we've been through. If you're in pain right now, you might as well get a reward from it. I don't know anybody that will be going through hell and just stop in hell. If I got to go through hell, I got to keep going till I get to heaven. I at least got to see the other side of it. And when we talk about perspective, that's the perspective I want you guys to keep. I don't want you to let the pain that you go through break you. I don't want it to make you bitter, to make you angry, to make you not want to chase your goals, to make you lose motivation, become uninspired. Instead, what I want is the mindset that says no matter what I go through, I will use this to my benefit. I will allow this to push me. I will allow this to prosper me, to inspire me, to motivate me. I will allow this to help me get to my next level. And when we can keep the